What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Saturday, December 14th, 2024. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet, head on over to Pickdawgz.com and click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Today I'm going to have an NHL play of the day for $15. Also going to have a ton of college hoops plays on the board. So this is a great time to jump on something long term. We've got a stacked NFL card tomorrow, loaded college hoops cards throughout the week as we head into the holidays. NBA is going to be on the board as well as college football bowl season. So great time to jump on board. Probably tomorrow, I think the 3-day and the 7-day passes are actually going to be less than buying each of Saturday's packages individually, and you get a few more days worth of plays. So definitely something worth looking into. Remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Well, only had a one-game card yesterday, so back at it again today. A 15-game card. We're going to go over it. This is actually, looking at it, I'll be honest with you guys, one of the tougher cards I think I've seen in a little while. We're going to talk about it. We're going to hope to make some money with it. But again, I would tread very, very lightly with it. I'll let you guys know my thoughts. You don't have to play every single game. There are lots of betting opportunities on the board. But let's break it down. You guys know the drill. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. Our first game takes us to the Prudential Center, where the New Jersey Devils take on the Chicago Blackhawks. And as much as I want to get on board with the Blackhawks in the underdog role, the fact of the matter is they're kind of back to looking like the Chicago Blackhawks of last year and the past couple seasons, actually, where they've only won 5 of 17 road games this season. They've really struggled away from home. They pretty much struggled everywhere, to be honest. I mean, 4-8 at home this season. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games. 7 of their last 9, the majority of those are scoring 2 goals or less, and they've given up 4 or more goals in 5 straight losses. So this is the New Jersey Devils team that, I haven't been all that high on, but they are the better team here with the better goaltending head-to-head. They've won 4 straight meetings, and 6 of the last 7. The last 4 have all been by multiple goals, by a combined score of, if I do some quick math here, 15-7. So I'm going to go with the New Jersey Devils here. Like I said, I just think that they are the better team. I'm going to take them on the puck line. Next, we head to Madison Square Garden for this matchup between the New York Rangers and the Los Angeles Kings. Not one of my favorite games on the board. I do like both these teams, but the thing is that, the Los Angeles Kings, they're coming off of, the first loss that they've taken, over a couple weeks. They just had their 6-game win streak snapped in New Jersey. Now they're taking on a desperate Rangers team that is in dire need of a win after losing 7 of their last 10. The thing for me, though, is that this is an LA team that has played more towards the under this season. 17 of their 29 games this season have gone towards the under. The Rangers, maybe not the most under team out there, but we know what this goaltending tandem of Shesterkin and Quick can do, especially Igor Shesterkin when he's on his game. This is a guy that can hold you to 2 goals or less more often than not. I just think this is going to be one of those lower scoring first to 3 wins kind of games. So I'm going to go with the under 5.5 between the Kings and the Rangers. Now we head to this matchup between the Minnesota Wild and the Philadelphia Flyers from the XL Energy Center, and we were on the under in the last game. We're going to be on the over in this game because, the Philadelphia Flyers have had a history of being competitive with the Minnesota Wild, but head-to-head between these two teams, we've seen a ton of goals in ththese recent meetings. Over 4-0 in the last 4 meetings, including that 7-5 thriller earlier this season. I remember being on the Minnesota Wild in that game, and, the Wild just didn't show up in the third period in that one. They gave up 4 goals. Hell, we hit the over 5.5 in the third period alone with 6 goals in that third. I think this is going to be another high-scoring game, even though the goaltending for the Minnesota Wild has really stepped it up, over the course of the season, and more often than not, it held their opponents to 2 goals or less. Minnesota has allowed 15 goals in their last 3 games. Philadelphia, this is a team that's capable of giving up 15 goals in a 3-game stretch, but also has been able to find the back of the net as well. They've scored 9 goals in their back-to-back wins. So give me the over 5.5 in this one. Now we head to this matchup between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights from Rogers Place. Early start time for these two. This is going off, an early afternoon puck drop. And, sometimes that can favor the home team, but I think that Vegas is still the way to look here. Both these teams come in red hot right now. Both winners of 4 in a row. Vegas coming in off the win over Winnipeg, and prior to that they beat Dallas. This is a revenge game for Edmonton, considering that Edmonton lost 1-0 to Vegas when these two teams met in Vegas just about a week and a half ago. But I still think that Vegas is just where I want to be in this game, just because we're getting a decent amount of plus money with them. And they are really finding ways to win games on the road. This is a team that, at one point couldn't win a game on the road to save their lives. It was just that you backed Vegas at home and you faded them on the road. Well, I can't say that anymore, as they've won, I believe it's 5 of their last 6 road games just in their last 10 games alone. Edmonton, they've been on a nice little stretch as well, but like I said, I think that Vegas, with their history with Edmonton, the fact that they've, covered a lot and won a lot of the recent meetings between these two teams, I got to go with the Vegas Golden Knights at the plus money in this one. Now we head to the Canada Life Center, where the Winnipeg Jets play host to the Montreal Canadiens, and we're starting to see the other shoe drop for the Winnipeg Jets after getting off to that really hot start to the year, as they've started to just sort of fall apart. They've lost 6 of their last 9 games. They've struggled with consistency. They've alternated wins and losses in each of their last 4 games. But it's a better spot to be in than where Montreal is. Ironically enough, Montreal's in the same boat. They've alternated wins and losses in their last 4, but they are coming off a 9-2 drubbing at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this is a Montreal team that plays their better hockey at home, which is why that loss to Pittsburgh was so surprising. They're just 3-8-1 on the road this season. Winnipeg 10-3-1 at home. I gotta go with Winnipeg in a bounce back spot here. If the Winnipeg Jets can't bounce back in this spot against a lowly Montreal team, I think they're going to be in some trouble. So give me Winnipeg here on the puck line. Next, we head to the Little Caesars Arena for this matchup between the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And normally I would tell you, maybe take a look at Detroit here, because Detroit has had a tendency in the past to be a thorn in Toronto's side. But that being said, I'm going to stick with the Leafs here in regulation, because right now the Detroit Red Wings just simply cannot get out of their own way. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games. The majority of those, they're scoring 2 goals or less. And the only reason that they don't have a 7-game losing streak coming into this one is because Buffalo is right now on an 8-game losing streak. It's not a good look for Detroit right now. Detroit is starting to look more and more like the Detroit teams of the last few years that have finished at the basement of the Atlantic Division. Toronto, like I said, this is a Toronto team that does play their better hockey at home. But the last time we saw them on the road, they did fairly well against the New Jersey Devils team that plays some solid hockey at home. And Toronto's still about a 500 team on the road this season, but they're not playing 500 hockey right now. So give me the Maple Leafs in regulation at minus 120. Now we go to the Canadian Tire Center for this matchup between the Ottawa Senators and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if you follow the wraparound, you know my thoughts on the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're on the do not bet list right alongside the Nashville Predators. And every time I'm willing to give the Pittsburgh Penguins a shot to get off the do not bet list, they go ahead and blow it. And last time out, like we talked about earlier, just a couple games ago, they blew out Montreal on the road. And that was a great performance. But now you take on an Ottawa team that's starting to find themselves again. They've won 4 of their last 5. They've won a bunch of their recent games at home. They've won 4 of their last 5 games at home as well. Head to head, it's been all Ottawa the last couple seasons, winning 4 straight and 5 of the last 6 in this matchup. I'm not gonna get fooled again with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're gonna have to start showing me consistent results time and time again before I really start to feel good about the direction of this team going in the right direction. So I'm gonna lean towards the Senators here at minus 140, just because it is so hard to trust Pittsburgh. Now we head to the Capital One Arena, where the Washington Capitals take on the Buffalo Sabres. And I alluded to it earlier when we were talking about the Sabres and the Detroit Red Wings, but the Buffalo Sabres, normally year in and year out, they have a hot start to the year, and then there's about 2 months into the season, the Buffalo Sabres go on this extended losing streak, and then all of a sudden all playoff hopes are lost. Well, they're not even waiting for the hot streak to start. This is the Buffalo Sabres team that's now lost 8 in a row. They've scored 2 goals or less in 5 of those 8 games. They just can't, like I said, they can't get out of their own way. They've allowed 3 or more goals in 7 straight. This is a Washington team that, yes, plays their better hockey on the road. However, right now they're still playing the far better hockey. They're 8-4-2 at home this season. They're finding ways to score goals and win games without Alex Ovechkin. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they're playing great defense. and great, and the goaltending has been great. I still stand by the sentiment that Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson are one of the more underrated 1-2 tandems in NHL, any NHL locker room right now. So I'm going to take the Washington Capitals to win this one in regulation. Also put someone on the puck line for some nice plus money. Now we head to the Nationwide Arena for a matchup between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Anaheim Ducks, and this is one of the trickier matchups on the board for me, on the entire card, because it's the price almost feels like it's unplayable because Anaheim has had the bulk of the recent success between these two teams, winning 6 of the last 7 meetings. But I can't get on board with an Anaheim team that scored 2 goals or less in 5 straight, in 6 of their last 7 and 8 of their last 10. Columbus, on the other hand, they've lost 5 of their last 6 as well, but they do play their better hockey at home, and a lot of those recent struggles have come on the road. But again, still, it's just hard for me to get on board with either side here. It's a lean towards the Columbus Blue Jackets at this price, but again, this price minus 170, not where I play on the money line at the best of times with a lot of teams, and with Columbus especially, it makes it hard to back. So lean towards Columbus here, but like I said, there are much better places to be on Saturday's card. Next, we head to the American Airlines Center for a matchup between the Dallas Stars and the St. Louis Blues. And I think if there was a spot where I'd want to throw a dart for some plus money, it would be here. The Dallas Stars are still one of the best teams in the NHL. I'm not taking that away from Dallas whatsoever. The thing is, though, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. They've looked a little bit vulnerable. They're just in a little bit of a mini slump. And this is a St. Louis team that plays better on the road, and they have had a tendency at times to play up to better opposition and play down to lesser teams, as evidenced by a loss at home to the San Jose Sharks, a loss at home to the Philadelphia Flyers. San Jose took them to a shootout last time they met in St. Louis back in late November. But this is also a St. Louis team that's gone on the road. They beat Vancouver in Vancouver. They beat Winnipeg in Winnipeg. They beat the Devils and the Rangers on the road as well. And I think they can go into Dallas and beat Dallas. I mean, they have been competitive. The last 5 meetings have all been decided by 1 goal. 3 of the meetings have needed extra time. So maybe this is a game where you take a look at maybe this game to go to overtime, the 60-minute tie. But for me, I'm going to take a shot here with the Blues plus the 1.5. I'm going to put a little bit on the Blues money line as well at plus 200. Now we head to the Ball Arena for a match between the Colorado Avalanche and the Nashville Predators. And one win is not going to get the Nashville Predators back into my good graces. Even though they did beat the Dallas Stars in a nice victory, this is still a team that's lost 8 of their last 9 games. Now they head into Colorado against an Avalanche team that could stand to play a little bit better at home and is still making some questionable moves to try to fix their goaltending. Bringing in they had Scott Wedgwood and making other deals. I believe they made a deal for Mackenzie Blackwood as well, if I'm not mistaken, but. Either way, the Colorado Avalanche are still the better team on paper in this one. And maybe it's a fade of Nashville more than anything else. I'll lean towards the Avalanche in regulation at minus 120. But again, another one where I'm probably not going anywhere near it. Now we head to the Scotiabank Saddledome for a match between the Calgary Flames and the Florida Panthers. And the Calgary Flames were a team that I was just like, you know what? You ride them at home and you fade them on the road, or at least you don't back them on the road. But now I'm starting to think that isn't even safe right now, because right now the Calgary Flames are in a bit of a tailspin. They've lost 7 of their last 9 games. They just got blown out by the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. And now you take on a Florida Panthers team that is just as good offensively. They have, a lot of talent in that locker room. They just got shut out by the Vancouver Canucks. And I don't expect them to stay down for very long. They normally don't stay down for long when you put down the Panthers. And I think they bounce back in a big way against Calgary. Calgary, like I said, the goaltending has had some issues. Whether it's Dan Vladar, Dustin Wolf, doesn't matter who it is, they're struggling right now. And I think the Panthers can take advantage. I'm going to take the Florida Panthers to win this one in regulation at minus 125. Now we head to Climate Pledge Arena for this matchup between the Seattle Kraken and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And another tricky matchup, but you know what? I'm still going to lean with what I've seen up to this point, and that is the fact that Tampa Bay Lightning have won 5 of the 6 all-time meetings against Seattle. And when you look at these teams just side by side, I just think the Tampa Bay Lightning are still the better team. They've done a great job so far on the first part of this West Coast road trip. I know this is the last game of that road trip, but Still, I think Tampa Bay wants to finish strong. They're in some decent form right now. Don't get me wrong, Seattle's in some decent form as well. They're coming off a blowout win over Boston, and they were competitive against Florida at home as well. But this is also a Seattle team that's taken losses at home to San Jose and Anaheim. I just think that the Lightning, like I said, are the better team with the more trustworthy goaltending. Give me the Lightning here at the reasonable price at minus 135. Now we head to Rogers Arena for a matchup between the Vancouver Canucks and the Boston Bruins. And just when I'm ready to give the Boston Bruins the benefit of the doubt, well, they go and put up a dud like they did against Seattle. And now in the first two games of this West Coast road trip, the Boston Bruins have been blown out 13-2 in those two games. Like I said, just when I thought that Boston was getting ready to right the ship, and they did not do that. Meanwhile, Vancouver, team that I was giving some flack for, their form at home, they come out, they shut out the Florida Panthers 4-0. And while I'm still not all the way sold on the Vancouver Canucks, it is just really hard to back the Boston Bruins in their current form. At least Vancouver is starting to figure some stuff out at home. The goaltending for the Vancouver Canucks has been solid. Kevin Lankinen has really been a nice acquisition for the Vancouver Canucks, and could be looking like he's trying to take over the number one job from Thatcher Demko, even though Thatcher Demko just coming back from injury. But I still think Lankinen and the Canucks are playing well enough that they could take this one at home. Again, not a game I love, but I'll lean towards the Canucks here at minus 140. The final game on Saturday's card takes us to the SAP Center, where the San Jose Sharks take on the Utah Hockey Club. And it's been a sort of a running joke in the comments section about my love for the San Jose Sharks. And, well, this is a team that has been able to provide us value in a lot of spots, like they just did against the St. Louis Blues last time out. However, they do go back home where they have played their better hockey. The thing is, though, is that Utah has been far better on the road this season than they've been at home. This is a Utah team that is riding a 5-game win streak on the road and taking out some good teams along the way. They took out the Colorado Avalanche. They've taken out the Philadelphia Flyers, the Vegas Golden Knights. They walloped Pittsburgh 6-1. They were competitive in Toronto. And I think they take it to San Jose here. This is still a San Jose team that, yes, has beaten teams like Seattle and LA at home, but I just think that Utah's form on the road is just a little bit better here. I just don't know what the Sharks are doing. I know they're trying to sort of, make moves to try to, put this team in a better position, but I still think that Utah is the play here. I'm going to lean towards the Utah Hockey Club in regulation at minus 115 to try to get this price down from minus 180. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Saturday, December 14th, 2024. Again, if you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including the games that I love the most, including my daily $15 best bet, head on over to pickdawgz.com, click the premium picks tab at the top of the page, and remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys.